Welcome to another episode of Voice of Rio. Stay tuned to hear about a new class and some new opportunities for students with disabilities.
Hello and welcome to the Voice of Rio Grande. I'm Dr. Donna Mitchell, Dean of the College of Professional and Technical Studies, along with my co-host, Dr. Heather Duda, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Hello, Heather.
Hi, Donna. How are you?
Oh, I'm just great. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm enjoying the beginnings of another change. As always happens with the school cycle, I feel like we're just always ebbing and flowing.
It is great to see all the students back. The faculty are back.
Mm-hmm.
And we are really honored today to be joined by two of our premier faculty people, Sheli Bernstein-Goff, who is a social work professor, and Michelle Young, who is the coordinator of our Nursing Skills Lab in the School of Nursing.
Thanks for having us. We're
Thanks
really
for
excited to be
us.
here.
And I'm excited about what you're going to share with us. I'd like to start out by having you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your background. Sheli, would you like to start?
Yeah, I'm Shelleys Bernstein-Goff. I came to Rio last year, so I'm completing my second year here from another university in West Virginia. I was there for about 18 years. I teach social work. I live social work. I breathe social work, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this course. Social work is very into diverse cultures and basically doing the right thing. And it's been a great honor in getting this course together to meet Michelle, who is in nursing. So why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Michelle Young, and I'm an instructor in the Nursing Skills Lab, and I have been here at Rio for 15 years. And this opportunity came along from Sheli, and it was just really exciting to partner with her and do something a little bit different in nursing.
So Sheli, would you like to start off by telling us an overview of the course and what you're going to do with the students?
Sure. Last year, Dr. Duda sent out an announcement asking if people were interested in teaching an honors course. And I was new to the area, and we've had, we meaning my husband and I. So let's start with that. My husband is Rabbi Ron Goff, now Rabbi Ron Bernstein-Goff. He changed his name as well. And he was a professor at Allegheny College, created a Jewish studies program. And we noticed that in terms of religious diversity, it was rather small in the area where we were living in Gallipolis. And we decided it would be really interesting if we could develop a travel seminar and go to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. So that's how it started, and then it kind of morphed. I wanted to get a perspective of all kinds of disciplines, so I sent an email out to the entire faculty and asked anybody from their discipline to please email me and give their discipline's perspective during that time in Holocaust studies. And Michelle answered
the
answered
email.
the email. So, and she's coming from a nursing's perspective. We may have some other faculty coming from a literary perspective, an art perspective, but right now Michelle and I are kind of tag teaming, and we're going to be going March 1st, which is a Friday. We'll be there the 2nd and coming back the 3rd. And I know that right now there's a concern about with the federal government shutting down. That will not be an issue for us. The museum is open. It receives some funds from the federal government, but it's mostly a nonprofit, 501(c), and will be open. So our trip is still on.
Now, have you both been to the museum in DC? So you know what to expect. So you'll be able to shepherd the students through the museum experience.
Yes. I've been there probably about 8 years ago, and it's just an amazing experience to be able to walk through the museum. And I'm really excited to be able to go with Sheli and her husband to get a lot of input from a rabbi.
He's just a man. It's okay. Yeah. It'll be really interesting. We're taking a van, and you're going to be hopefully with us in the van. Right now we have 5 students, and if anybody else is interested, to please make sure that they email either myself or Michelle, or even Dr. Duda or Dr. Mitchell, any of us, and let us know if you're interested in going. And yes, I have been to the museum numerous times. We had a son, we have a son who lives in Portland now, but he lived in D.C., so we were there quite frequently.
I went through it, and I can't even explain the impact it had on me. And when I walked through, it was silence. You were here, people were whispering, but nobody was speaking in a loud tone of voice. So, Michelle, how does this relate to nursing?
Well, I became interested actually over the summer. I started reading about Corrie ten Boom and her experience in the concentration camps, and then I saw the email come out, and if anybody was interested in sharing from their professional perspective, and so I started thinking about what role did nurses play in the Holocaust, and I wanted to come from the perspective of German nurses, not Jewish nurses, because they did play a role, and so I wondered why did they do what they did, and I began researching, and it's fascinating what I've run into, why the nurses did what they did, what the profession of nursing looked like at that time in Europe and in Germany. And so I'm going to share what I found with the students. I've already posted like detailed outlines, and I've posted information for them to read from the nurses' trial of 1965. And then also I posted a documentary for them to view prior to going on the trip. So.
Wow.
Yeah, all our materials are going to be on Blackboard, so students can access them at any time. And I just want to also let everyone know it's not just coming from a religious perspective. Of course, I'm coming from, that perspective, but the Holocaust had multiple victims. The largest, population were those of Jewish descent, but there was also, the LGBTQ plus community, those with disabilities. So we're not coming from that perspective at all. And we're also looking at current conditions and the current climate, and could something like this be happening again? We have some readings on Rwanda, on Darfur, and looking at genocide on a global level.
I am sure that the students are going to be very engaged and probably find that the Holocaust Museum, I've also been a few times, as a very meaningful experience. Do you find that the students are coming to class with an understanding of that time in history, or are they just sort of somehow unaware of that aspect of European history?
That's a really good question. I think the students that are coming to this specific class have a little bit more knowledge base of that time of World War II in terms of history. One of the reasons why I wanted to offer this course is I was teaching, why I'm teaching also an Intro to Social Work course, and when we get to, I show a movie called Shadows of Hate, which describes hatred throughout our history in the United States, and I was shocked to find that many students didn't know our history, and some have even told me they have never even heard the word Holocaust used in their K through 12 tenure, during that time. So I thought that was really important. They were very focused on current history or civics class, but not necessarily during, World War I, World War II.
Michelle, you mentioned that you are sort of looking at how the nursing profession was. Do you see any of the materials that you're using for this honors class being integrated into the nursing curriculum in ways?
I would love to see it integrated someday. It's important for us to study our past so we don't make the same mistakes. Because what we saw in Germany at that time, the nursing profession was not really organized. And so when the Nazi regime came into power, it came under government control, and then government set the standards for admission criteria for the curriculum. And when nurses graduated, they actually took an oath to Hitler.
Wow.
So now, of course, in the United States, we do have an organized profession, but it's important that we keep our autonomy and that we empower nurses to have a voice and speak up, and that we treat all patients equally, you know, irregardless of race, religion, ethnic backgrounds. So we don't begin to make some of those decisions that could take us down the wrong path. So I think it's important to integrate this somewhere throughout the curriculum so we know where we came from and where we're going.
It also has, I think, a role in the ethics course, because as we talk about ethics and what guide our ethics and how we can end up on a slippery slope perhaps if we're not careful.
Yes, and as nurses in the United States, we follow the ANA Code of Ethics, and it's important that, and that is part of our curriculum already, so it'd be good to have these discussions integrated in with that.
I was going to say, in terms of social work, we have the same thing. We have the D.SW Code of Ethics, National Association of Social Workers, and you know, it'd be interesting if we could have one or two Holocaust study courses and do it, you know, on a multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary platform. I think that would be really, really interesting for Rio to, you know, investigate further on down the line.
Yeah. You know, the honor students are a pretty diverse group. They're not all one major. So what do each of you, we have a couple minutes remaining, what do each of you hope your students come away from the class having gained? Like if you had just one thing, I'm sure lots of things, but what's sort of the one thing each of you hope your students will take away?
For me, I hope, and none of the honor students taking this course is in the nursing profession, but I hope they get the sense that we need to keep questioning. We need to have our voice heard, and if we think something's off, we need to be able to speak up.
How to advocate and learn how to go from surviving to thriving.
Wow.
I always love interdisciplinary courses or aspects of any program. As we're looking at a simulation center that's coming down the road, there will be more interdisciplinary work there as well. So I think this is an exciting opportunity for us to look at how we deliver courses on Rio campus and maybe expand what we do for some of these courses in the future.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting. Yeah,
It's a great model.
Thank you both for coming. It was wonderful having you on the show. I look forward to
Thank
hearing
you.
how the trip goes.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having
Thank you
us.
so much.
You know, the Holocaust has always been something that we teach in literature. We often teach literature of the Holocaust. And so having this class, I think is great because it's exposing students to other perspectives, which, as Michele and Sheli said, that interdisciplinarity is so important when understanding such a challenging time to understand, looking at it, you know, however many decades later. It was hard to understand what happened and how people could do that to their fellow human beings, and having the perspective that they're going to bring to the class, I think is just going to really be a powerful learning experience for our students.
I think it's going to be awesome. I've taught an ethics class at the master's level, and the first thing nursing students say, how's that possible? And so for Michele to present some history as to how the nurses were able to do that, I guess is the best word, ethically, how could they work through that?
Right.
It's going to be eye-opening and enlightening, and so I'm looking forward to maybe that being included somehow in the nursing curriculum down the road as well.
Yeah, that would be great. Well, our next guest is, speaking of inclusion, about inclusivity, if I might make that segue, if that is an appropriate segue. But thank you. We have to Courtney Ruggles, who's joining us. And Courtney, you want to tell us a little bit about how you came to Rio and what your title is and what you do out of your office?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on. But I'm the Director of Accessibility and Mental Health Services here at University of Rio Grande. I've been here for about 3 months now, so definitely making some headway in the office. And I think it's kind of good because I've kind of had a fresh take on what's going on, and we're starting some new programs and things. I came from out of the area, and so it's been really neat being here. I really enjoy it. Some of the things that I do is I work with students who have had IEPs or 504 plans in high school, or who have struggled with other types of limitations, whether it's physical or mental health, and they can come in and see me and see if they're eligible for accommodations.
So when the student wants to come and see you, is there a charge to the student for your services?
Absolutely not. Everything is free for the students.
And what's the process? How do you, I guess, so I'm a student. How do I know I need your office? And then how do I go about accessing your office?
Okay, so there's a couple ways to know if you need my office. First of all, I think it's great for every student to come in and see us. And I'm located in Student Affairs. But for students who've had an IEP or a 504 class in school and high school, they're more than welcome to come in and see if they're eligible for services in that way. And all it is I just need paperwork. And we have a conversation about ways that we can help the student, because it's about leveling the playing field. However, if a student has never received an IEP or a 504 in high school, they're still more than welcome to come and see me, because there's other ways that we can prove eligibility for accommodations. We approve accommodations for students who have physical limitations, who have mental health, they struggle with mental health issues, as well as those with possible learning disabilities and those kind of types of issues.
And you coordinate, and maybe some of these haven't happened yet since you've been here for 3 months, but you coordinate, and your office coordinates some campus-wide events that everyone can participate in. I'm thinking specifically of Are You OK Day and the Suicide Walk. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those programming? So even if I'm somebody in the immediate community or the larger community, and I don't necessarily need the services you provide on a regular basis, but I can be supportive of your office. Can you talk a little bit about some of those things?
Absolutely. So we have the Out of the Darkness Walk, which is going to occur in April, and we are getting all geared up for it. We've got our first committee meeting happening this week for it. But that's a huge event that we do here on campus to invite everybody who's been infected by or impacted by suicide to come in and support. You can sign up for the walk. I will be sending out a link soon via email of how to sign up for the walk. We fundraise, but it's a really neat day, and I'm really excited to be a part of it this year. So that's going to be great, and we want to invite the whole entire college or campus community to be involved, as well as just the community of Rio Grande. And then we have Are You OK Day, which focuses on, just going up to your peers and asking them, are you okay? I'm also looking at some other events, like it's called Fresh Charge Day, where we're looking at, what do you need to feel like you're having a fresh, good day for yourself as in mental health? And that I would really love to have some booths where we have activities set up like the elephant in the room, where we all kind of have an elephant that may keep us from accomplishing something, and we write down those in a ceremonious way and get rid of that elephant. And simple things like that really impact our mental well-being. And so those are some things that we're looking forward to offering on campus this semester. We have the therapy dogs that were here for finals week last semester, coming back for both midterms and for finals week. So that'll be great. We'll be seeing them again. And we might have a couple of other things up our sleeves.
I love those therapy dogs.
They're wonderful.
So if I were a student and I didn't think I really needed accommodations, but let's say midway through the semester something happens, and now maybe I do, or next semester, Is it okay to come anytime during the semester for assistance?
Yes, absolutely. There's no deadline to what we call self-disclose, coming in and letting us know that you need that assistance or those accommodations. I mean, anybody can come in even during finals week and request, so at any time, but I will give the advice that earlier the better. It's better to set up the accommodations and possibly not use them until you have to, as early as possible.
I've heard students sometimes say that they really don't want to self-disclose because of confidentiality. They're afraid somebody will find out, but that's really not the case.
No, it's not. It's not the case at all. It's all completely confidential. Students don't even have to disclose to their professors what they're diagnosed with or anything that they're struggling with. It's just simply telling them about their accommodations. But it is all completely confidential. The only reason information may be shared is if the student decides to share that information.
We've talked a lot about how students can use your services. What about faculty members? If I'm a faculty member, what are some of the challenges that I might see with my students that might make me want to call you and just give you the heads up and ask for advice? What are some things that as a faculty member I can do to help my students be successful?
Yes, absolutely. And I've had quite a few faculty already contact me, which has been great. Feel very welcome, so thank you. But if a faculty member sees a student struggling, I mean, really in any way academically, they're more than welcome to reach out to me. And whether I'm a sounding board and we kind of throw ideas back and forth to each other, or if I can get them to make a referral to get the student to come in and see me, and then we can always work out plans and stuff that way.
What are your hours?
Oh, I am in the office available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
And did I see on a flyer or an email recently that you have a new technology assist program? Is that the proper terminology
Yes,
for it?
yes, it's a new audio note taker, and it's really neat. We are piloting this program this semester, and it's called Sonocent Audio Note Taker. And it's only been in the U.S. for about 3 years, but it's in over 550 universities in the U.S. So it's really taken off, and it's absolutely wonderful. It has a very easy interface, but it records lectures for students. And while it's recording, the student can live code the recordings in different colors. So if a professor says, okay, this is going to be on your test, you need to remember this, the student can literally hit a button that will code that part of the audio in red so they know to go back, that it's important. And they have a whole key that they can use. So it could be something like, okay, this is the homework color is yellow, and they can code it in yellow. Also, they can type up notes that corresponds with the audio recording and stuff. So it's a really, really neat program. And I'm very excited about it. We've gotten some really good positive feedback already.
Great.
And I am doing demos of it. So if anybody would like a demo, they're more than welcome to contact me, and we'll schedule a demo.
What happens if, how does a faculty member know that somebody is really using that system and not just on their laptop saying that they're doing something like that? Do you notify the faculty?
I have been putting it into the letters and things that the faculty do receive from the students. To be eligible to use this software, you have to receive accommodations, and I have to determine that eligibility. So, but professors are made aware through the letters that they receive for the accommodations. And also, I've also sent out an email to all the professors, kind of giving them a heads up, like this is what's going on. And like I said, it's been pretty successful so far.
Great.
That's wonderful. What do you think is the highlight of your time at Rio so far? You've only been here for 3 months. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah, that is. I've actually really enjoyed the culture and working with the students. It's really been pretty amazing. I've worked at another university previously as an adjunct professor, and so I enjoyed those relationships. But having the relationships built in this kind of way as being the director of accessibility and mental health services has been pretty awesome.
I have to say, I'm really glad you didn't say Christmas break.
I mean, that one was good, but
Well, I think you are the lifeline for some students, because I know that some students probably would not be successful without the services your office provides. And I've heard them speak very highly of the services that they receive there.
Well, good, good. I'm glad, because we're an office that we want all students to come by and at least meet us, because we have a lot of different things that we can offer and just be a support.
And you provide, I think you provide an opportunity maybe for a student to just be listened to so that they can come and talk to you about a variety of different things that they may not be able to share with other people.
Absolutely. We do have counseling services here on campus that are absolutely free. We have counselors through Hopewell, and we have both men and women that are providing those for us. We just got a man to come on board for counseling, so that's great. But yes, anytime anybody needs anything to talk to, just for support, feeling overwhelmed, they're more than welcome just to stop in our office.
It seems like these services are becoming more familiar than even 10 years ago when I started in higher education. What is happening? Do you have any sense of are we as a society more open? Are we talking more about it? Are more students in college self-identifying? It seems like we're shifting the culture in how we talk about some of these issues.
I agree, and I'm glad that you brought that up because January is actually Mental Health Awareness Month, and I've been really focusing on how we label mental health and how we speak about mental health. But I think we are becoming, as a society, more aware and also more open. And so I think people and individuals are starting to realize that it's okay to come and talk to somebody. And so I'm really, really pleased with that because you're right. I mean, I remember 10 years ago during some of my academic career, I didn't know these services existed. And so just to spread the word that, we are here and we're trained to help you and be really nice and give you all that support. And, I think that's wonderful. So,
Great.
And as a small school, which Rio is a small school, we have the ability to do more personal, hands-on, one-on-one
Yes.
with our students in the classroom and your services as well, that they actually get to meet with the director here.
Yes, absolutely. If you come in, you are probably going to meet with me, and then we'll see if if another counselor is going to be a good fit, or if you just need to talk to somebody one-on-one a couple of times, you're going to meet me, the director.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show today. It is so good to know that you are here and your door is open and students can come and talk to you anytime, and that faculty who have questions can give you a call or stop by your office. So
Absolutely.
thank you for everything that you're doing.
Yes, it's a great
here
service.
on campus.
Well,
Great
thank
service
you very
for our
much.
students.
And again, thank you for having me on.
Thank you.
And we would like to thank you for joining us with another episode of The Voice of Rio Grande.
See you next time.